Alright guys, Mark Frank Montoya here, and today's going to be a weird one. I wanted to get this clip out to everybody to explain, the first part and then another video, but I'm like rocking right now. You might see this thing kind of rocking because I'm on a ship on a big old boat in Japan on the other side of the world, but we're on here for like 14 hours going to another island to ride powder and snowboarding and stuff like that, so we have time. I want to do these clips. And so this will be the kind of the intro to the next clip that you really want to pay attention to, because this is about next level kind of stuff, thinking outside the box, living outside the box. And people say that all the time. Oh, you got to think outside the box. A lot of corporate corporate companies do that and say that kind of stuff. But really, are they living outside the box, right? Because this is, you got to think on the next level. And the next video we'll get into that, but I had to go through this myself. People really get caught up in specialized skills. We get really good at what we're doing. So in my case, I became a pro snowboarder. Very, very specialized skills, right? And because when you have the specialized skills, you're in the money. If you're in the top bracket of what you're doing, yes, you make some pretty good money. But it's not next level. It's not thinking outside the box, really, because once we get really good at things, then we start to think we know it all. And when you already know it all, how can you learn anything, right? Because you think you already know it all. And this happens to doctors, lawyers, high-end professionals. We actually get too smart for our own good, and then we wonder why we hit the wall and we can't retire and we have no freedom, because the better we get, the less duplicatable we are, the less we can put anybody in our place to do the work, right? So the more titles you put behind your name, the less anybody else can do your job. So you're stuck. You're stuck because if you stop working, you stop getting paid. You're the only one that can do that job. And so there's no leverage there. You're getting 100% of only one person's effort instead of leveraging, maybe getting 1% of 100 people's efforts. That's called leverage, and that's the way you create abundance and get free in business. And the whole financial freedom thing that everybody talks about, right? So I'm going to show you the pain of that, because I really have to get people to admit that they don't know this stuff. Sometimes we don't want to learn and think outside the box. And so sometimes you really have to press on people's pain, press on the issue a little bit to get them to move, because humans move away from pain at any cost. And so when we start to get past our first wall and we get paid back, we think we're number one, and we think we're the best because we're kind of making some good money, after all that hard work. Then we think we stop learning. So then people get really good at things. They start to make the six-figure incomes and the bigger incomes, but then they hit the next wall because they don't understand why they can't retire, why they're owned by their business. You don't own your business or your practice most of the time. It owns you, right? And so this is very important stuff to know, where you got to come back, do some research, think about the next level things, and figure out how you're going to get free. And so I like to make this really simple, but I like to do it really, really slow and painful for people if they really don't know, because a lot of people are like, oh no, I'm good. Oh no, I'm not interested. I already have my business. I'm already successful. I already make a six-figure income. I say, yeah, but how much do you make if you don't work? What? Yeah, how much do you make if you don't work? Like, can you go on vacation for 3 months, and when you get back, your check will be bigger than when you left? I don't think so, most of the time, 99% of the time, okay? So, right now, you want to think to yourself, if I stop working, do I stop getting paid? Right? How many people are responsible for your income? Is it just you? Okay, so if something happens to you, then what happens to your money, right? So you're probably getting 100% of one person's effort, okay? If you don't change that equation and open up and learn some better strategies of abundance and duplication and franchising and leverage, I'm going to come back next year, and if you don't change that equation, year number 2, how many people are going to be responsible for your income, right? Usually, it's just one, right? And people try to say, oh no, I manage a bunch of people. Yeah, but if you don't manage those people, does the business go away? Usually, people don't care about your business like you do, right? And that's why the business owners are owned by their business, because if it's not their business, they don't really care. So, Same thing. Well, what about in 5 years if you don't change that equation? If you stop working, you stop getting paid, if you stop managing, if you stop, if you don't have a system running your business, a well-oiled machine, proven step-by-step plan or system that people can follow, you're probably in that boat where if you stop working, you stop getting paid. What about in 10 years? If you don't change it, you stay exactly doing what you're doing, in 10 years, how many people are going to be responsible for your income? Probably just one. So how many people do you know that are still working? They're 50 years old, 60, 70 years old, because they're kind of just inside the box. They haven't opened up. Some people are okay with not going to that next level, okay, staying comfortable. This is about coming out of your comfort zone. We don't know. I didn't know how to get out of that situation, but I have kids that I want to be around. It became very painful, so once it was more painful for me to stay where I was than to change, then I had to change and learn this stuff. And I didn't know what it was, but I had to go out and find it, learn it and do it. So in 20 years, how many people are going to be responsible? Probably just one, if you don't change anything. 40 years later, just one. That's why 99% of the people they still have to work. Very sharp, successful, specialized skills, lawyers that I know that are actually in my family that are still working, 65, 70 years old, still have to work because only one person is responsible for their income, and that's them, okay? That's pretty painful. So what if it takes you 10 years, which is normal? What if it takes you 10 years to learn how to duplicate yourself and have a system running your business, right? And people, sometimes it's hard for us to surrender to a system because then we're like, oh no, that's not freedom, I have to follow a system. But you have to follow a system so that you can be able to learn a system and teach the system so other people can follow that system. Just like McDonald's. You don't see the owner of McDonald's or anybody with abundance, you don't see them working in the business, right? They have a system running their business. That's important for you to be able to follow a system, be a follower first, so then you can lead, and then it's really duplication. So we work with all this home business model stuff that it is a system. 24 hours income, internet. So again, if you're doing the ostrich approach, oh no, I'm okay. No, I'm not interested. The internet is here. I would learn that because it's 24 hours. Once you put something out there, it's on there. 24-hour income. You can make 24/7 income, money. Or what if you get business going on the other side of the world, like me in Japan right now? I'm making connections. Pretty soon I'll have business going in Japan, right? Or I actually already do. And when I go to bed in the States, somebody's waking up on the other side of the world and I'm making money while I sleep, right? And it's not just me responsible for my income. How would it be to make 5% of thousands of people's efforts? That's better. That's leverage, right? So you want to think about that. Very important lesson. If you don't want to work, if you're tired of being tired, if you're tired of being broke, you have to get open to newer, better ways and go searching for the answers, for the solutions. I went out and searched. I found home business. I found internet, network marketing, stuff like that. And then I learned so much about all the other stuff. I brought it back into other kind of businesses. And now I'm making multiple streams of income. So I have a financial fortress around myself and my family that nothing can penetrate. And that way I make money while I sleep, so I get to go around riding, snowboarding powder and doing what I want, having abundance of time, because time is more important than money. So if that makes sense and you don't want to work until you're 70 years old and you want to squeeze about 30 or 40 years of work, hard work, into 5 or 8 years of smart work, then you got to pay attention to this kind of stuff, right? Living outside the box. So read the wealth books. Go down below. I'm going to have another clip that we're going to push out. It's all free. And thanks for watching. See you guys soon.